Okay, members of the media, we're joined by Jalen Bridges. Questions for Jalen, please raise your hand. Okay, Jalen, our first question comes from Greg Hunter.
So, Jalen, I guess the obvious question is, how difficult was it without, Taz and Gabe and Kobe?
Well, for Taz and Gabe, those are our two senior leaders. We've all been here the same amount of time, but there are veterans, so it's obviously going to be a struggle without them. And then Kobe brings a lot to the table as well, so it was definitely a challenge. But I feel like we battled. We just weren't making shots. It happens sometimes.
What was the most difficult aspect of playing without them?
I would say like our offense got way more stagnant than it usually does. We had guys not really knowing sets and stuff. And with those two leaders out there, it's a little bit easier because they're directing traffic, telling people be here, be there. So
Kevin Kinder.
Jalen, it looked like you were a little bit more aggressive at times, taking the ball to the basket. I know you've been talking about doing that. Do you think maybe it took a situation like this where some of those leaders you're talking about aren't out there to kind of give you that push?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Taz, he puts the ball in the hoop at a very high level, and without him, that's a huge drop off in our scoring. So today I kind of try to take initiative and step up for my team, make plays, and try to be aggressive to the best of my abilities.
Is the next step in that then being able to mesh that with those when they come back to make this offense, maybe a couple of more options?
Absolutely. I feel like this will give me a lot more confidence moving forward, especially continuing in conference play. So when Taz and Gabe and Kobe and all of them are back, I feel like we'll really get things rolling.
Justin Jackson.
Hey, Jalen. Just kind of wondering, just from watching it, especially in the first half, there's things in basketball, little things that often get taken for granted, like, making, a little bounce pass to the elbow or just turning and kind of facing the basket. It seemed like Texas's defense kind of made little things hard. Can you just kind of talk about, what they were doing defensively and difficult just to execute small things in this game?
Honestly, I'd say that they just did a really good job in their scout. They had really good sense for what we were doing, and it allowed them to take us out of what we wanted to do.
Back to Greg Hunter.
Jalen, the technical, did you get an explanation? Was it for purely just tapping your head?
No, I didn't get an explanation, but that's one of those plays you got to take it and move on.
Any further questions for Jalen? Okay, Mr. Bridges, thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
We're joined now by West Virginia basketball coach Bob Huggins. Questions for Coach Huggins, please use the raised hand feature. Greg Hunter.
So, Bob, the obvious ones start with playing without the three guys that you didn't have. What kind of a problem was that, detriment was that?
Well, obviously, when you play without the best player in the league, it's going to affect you. He's been the best player in the league so far. That's going to hurt us. And then two other guys who contribute a lot to us. It's not going to be easy, but that being said, we can't turn it over 20 times. Particularly when they've been told since we started official practice that what's going to beat us is ourselves turning the ball over, and we turned it over 20 times. We're not going to win turning it over 20 times, particularly not against a team like that.
Justin Jackson.
Coach, kind of going off that Texas, it looks like, you know, a lot of deny defense, pretty good at it, some three-quarter court pressure. Just, you know, what was Texas doing defensively, and you know, are they as good defensively as, you know, what they appear on paper?
We threw it to them. They didn't take it from us much. We threw it to them. We have been very careless with the ball from the beginning, and we have talked about it, worked on it, got them on a toss back, did all the passing drills that I know of before we actually got into start practice, and it hasn't helped any. So we're going to have to come up with something else, or we're just going to have to sit those guys who continually turn it over.
As far as the players out today, from what I've looked at protocol wise, it looks like 10 days or something. It looks like they could be back in time for your next game. Is that how you understand it too, or?
Justin, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I've heard various scenarios, and I don't know which one is the believable one.
Right. That's very true. Yeah.
Kevin Kinder.
Following up on Justin's question, Coach, I mean, you have to go to the league office, you know, go through the school. How do you get the right information? Because obviously that affects how you prepare. If, you know, someone feels available to practice but can't because of whatever the rules in place are.
Well, we've done everything we can possibly do. From our guys taking a booster, our guys, by the way, have been fantastic. They've been fantastic in doing everything that we've asked them to do in terms of the protocol. I mean, we went as far as we all masked up on the plane, even though it was us on the plane. Didn't have to do that, but I asked them to do it, and they did it. You know, they've been very compliant with everything that we've asked them to do. I don't know any more than you guys know. I wish I did, but I don't know any more than you do. And you guys are, I think anyways, you guys are intelligent enough to realize that it's not done at my level, man. It's done at the conference level, and it's done at the conference level with either the athletic directors or the presidents. Guys at my level don't get a vote.
We'll go back to Greg Hunter.
Bob, been trying to look for a few positives out of this. The aggressiveness and better scoring from Jalen Bridges, DeMont Kerrigan with 9 rebounds, his high. Did you see some positives from those guys?
I thought JB's is good. JB's been, you know, I think he struggled because he wasn't making shots, and he spent time in the gym, and he's been making shots in practice, and he obviously made shots tonight. I thought JB played well. We've got 2 point guards, so we try to play the one that's playing the best that day. Keedy got hurt. And thank God that we have another point guard, because hopefully he's back for the next game.
And DeMont, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks. Any positives from him?
Well, somebody had to play, right? The other guys weren't giving us what we needed to give them. And that's kind of what it's been. It's kind of been a play the guy who's doing the best. Set the other guy.
Justin Jackson.
I think we still have to take a look at the big freshman in a game situation, but today wasn't today. You don't throw them in there against the best team in the league.
I apologize for talking over you, Coach. Justin.
You're fine.
Hey, Coach, you got kind of an extended look at Jamel today, have you been seeing stuff from him in practice, or was it just a matter of, his turn in the lineup with guys missing?
I wanted to see what he would do in front of people. He's played pretty well in practice. Try to get him a little bit of game experience.
Yeah.
Mike Kazaza.
Hey, Bob, how are you?
Good. No, I'm not, Mike, actually.
Yeah. Dumb question. My apologies. I know it got away from you a little bit at the end of the first half, and you mentioned the turnovers, but the initial, 8 to 10 to 12 minutes, it seemed like, when you did possess it, you got quick and early offense. And I would think that early on you might struggle in that situation against their defense and without Taz, but just that early flash, what did you see? What did you like? And then what got away there?
They did a better job guarding Sean and a better job guarding JB as the game went on. And we were in transition situations a whole lot more than we were in half court situations. We did not run offense. We did not, for whatever reason, I don't know. We didn't do it after a timeout when it was drawn up and showed to them. We got a set that we run to start practice every single day, and you would think if they run it in practice every single day that you could put it in, and we put it in, and they didn't run it. So it wasn't. Sometimes, it's what we do. I don't think it was what we do this time. I think they were not tuned in to running what we wanted to run.
Greg Carey.
Bob, does it make things a little more difficult for Sean without Taz in there? And if so, how?
They gang up on him. That's how. Yeah, it makes it more difficult. It's much more difficult. What are they? They're fond of saying in the NBA, Robin and Batman. Batman's not any good without Robin. Robin stinks without Batman. They get so much more attention, particularly when you're playing on a team with a bunch of guys that struggle to make shots.
Justin Jackson.
Which I'm just kind of looking for your own, I guess, personal insight on this, but, obviously 2 years ago, COVID shut down the NCAA tournament. Last year, still created havoc with scheduling and, all the stuff that you guys had to go through last year with testing and all that. It looks like it could still be a constant storyline now. I guess frustration level. I mean, is this getting to be a point with COVID and hoops to be almost unbearable, I guess?
We're going to continue to do our job, Justin, just like I would think you would continue to do your job. There's nothing we can do about it. We can't change it. We can't change it. We've got to work exceptionally hard just to get the best out of it. There's going to be an NCAA tournament. They can't not make any money again, Justin.
Right.
I mean, they were broke last year. They need this in the worst way. So they're going to find a way to have an NCAA tournament. In terms of us, we're going to do the best job we can possibly do, just like I would assume that you guys would.
Right.
I don't control those things. I can tell you this, our guys have been fantastic in doing everything they've been asking more. Do the best job they can possibly do of making this as easy as it can be. But it is what it is.
Kirk Bowles.
Yeah, Bob, when you look at Texas' offensive identity, when no one player scores more than 11 points a game, what do you have to concentrate on trying to take away to win a game against this Texas team?
Well, you don't let them drive it into the paint and pivot 7 times before they find a shot. You know, you gotta double them in the lane or maybe get a 3-second call or something, you know, to get them out of the lane. They do a great job of going in the lane and stopping and pivoting and pivoting and pivoting and until they get a break between a couple of guys or whatever. You know, that's becoming more and more and more a part of our game. That's not just them. There's a lot of people who do that now.
Is it a weakness of a team that when you don't have a main scorer like Taz scoring 20 points a game and you've got 4 or 5 guys scoring 8 to 10 in theory?
Is it what?
Is it a strength or a weakness when maybe a team like Texas doesn't have a 20-point score, but you have a whole bunch of guys that can score 10?
They got a whole bunch of guys that scored 20 at other places.
Yeah.
It wasn't like those guys can't score 20. They scored it on a consistent basis at other places.
Right.
But we are a much better team when we have Taz. It takes a lot of pressure off of Sean.
Right. Thanks, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Mike Kazaza.
Hey, Bob, coming off a long break and then you kind of have one drop into your lap now. How do you make use of this time, and can you, because you don't know who you're going to have for a couple of days at least?
Well, we can maybe learn the sets so that after a timeout we can actually go run a set that at least I think will work. We run around out there like we don't know what's going on, which is hard to understand, you know, why we wouldn't know what's going on, but we don't. And that hurts us as much as anything. It's like it's like watching two teams play without coaches or officials or anything else. You know, it's like open gym.
Any other further questions for Coach Huggins? Coach, thank you for your time.
Yes, sir, Michael.
Members of the media, that concludes our session for today. Thank you very much.